which some people have been longer.
Yes, we have.
Yes, I know. They're my neighbours. Well, now, as a pedestrian with sciatica, fractured foot, it doesn't, you know, the noise levels of speeding vehicles at noise, motorbikes, reckless drivers, sirens, 999 calls is deafening, and taxis arriving in the middle of the night in my streets is deafening. I struggle with tinnitus. I was a nurse, I worked on building sites, and I worked from
Giles, you've got more chance of getting knocked over the Mill Road by an e-scooter than a car, I can assure you.
I mean, what's the environmental effect of having a bridge shut? The problem is that, you know,
On the other roads.
having
There's going to be more pollution elsewhere.
having sciatica and
It's my problem from building sites.
yes, but it doesn't actually give you more rights than anybody else.
No, I'm not saying it does, but I'm outspoken like you were. I'm aware you come to me as a bar, and I know where you work, okay? Now, as time goes by, there are older people than me, younger people than me, and keep it clear. If you're standing to be a councillor, all good for you. You're outspoken, you have a good brain, so do I.
What was the question?
There's a lot of different opinions, aren't there? This is the point. What can I actually do as a councillor rather than just absorb all the different points of view and actually try to bring some compromise to the scene? I think one of my... Oh yeah, yeah.
You said that the barrister couldn't come up with reasons if the bridge being closed. And you said you're a good listener. So what would you say the arguments are?
Well,
For it being closed.
I would say the
And
arguments
it's
for
not
it
actually
being closed...
That's full of use of the track.
It's been restricted, yeah. I felt that one.
I mean, look, the reasons why the people who promoted the closure are not the same as the reasons which the council gave. Point one. Okay, the kind of activists or the environmentalists who put out the pamphlets, they have like 8 visions for Mill Road. Some of those range from making the air cleaner, making the road safer, improving streetscape. These lists, we can read them back. 2/3 of them are just opinions, right? And the actual claim that it's going to make the air cleaner is not one of the reasons that the council gave. And one of the first things that the council's solicitor conceded to us in the early days of the judicial review is that cleaning up the air is not one of the reasons. Because there's no evidence to show that closing of the bridge will improve air quality. And there's actually been evidence to show that it will make pollution worse.
So you're focusing on one issue.
Yeah, that's one issue.
I'm
Go
asking
on.
you to tell us what your understanding is of the people who support vehicles being restricted.
My understanding, if you don't mind me being completely blunt, all right, and this could be a make or break moment, because I'm going to be honest, you've got the wrong idea, right? You've been sold on an idea which is just not true, okay? And some people have actually become really hooked on that idea, and it's based on, like, when you talk to these people, the conversation drifts off into climate change, these net zero ambitions, things like that. That has nothing to do with the bridge. It doesn't. Right, but that is actually one of the principal motivating factors for the people who want the bridge to close. They think that closing the bridge will help climate change. It won't. They think that closing the bridge will make the air cleaner. It won't.
Shift it.
That's what. So in answer to your question, what do I think of the?
You've not mentioned safety.
Okay, no, I will mention safety.
Do you ride a bike?
Yes.
Part of bridge.
No, wait. Sorry.
Built for cyclists.
It was.
That's why it was
It
put
was
up.
built for cyclists to travel from the Field Road area to the city centre. It's a 2-kilometre detour for bike.
Yeah, hold on. Hang on.
I
Look.
measured it.
Just wait a second. Right, 2 points. 2 points. And then, right, 2 points on this. And I did say I'm standing so I can bring all of this to a head, so I brought this all on myself, I suppose. But look, there hasn't been an accident or fatality on the bridge. Right? The crash data shows accident clusters up and down the road, not on the bridge. Point 1. Right? Hang on. Point 2 is that by closing Mill Road, you may reduce traffic on Mill Road, but you increase it elsewhere. So safety has gone down in other areas.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, how is it okay? How is it fair? You might say we could make this bit completely safe, you know, but actually you're going to make that bit less safe. So how is that all right?
Yeah, sorry, can I just ask you, I live on Coleridge Road, and whenever that bridge is closed, we get nose-to-tail traffic outside our front doors, yeah? So we have those views coming in. Can you explain how it's moral for you to shut that bridge and push the traffic outside the doors of all of the people that live down the streets that are going to take the traffic that's being displaced? I mean, because that to me is not a moral thing to
So
do.
someone asked the question earlier.
He means going by your house.
Yeah, I understand, yeah. So someone asked the question about a modal filter.
I did.
So the idea of modal filter is to encourage people to change the way that they move around.
But they don't, because
They're
people
mo-
have to use their car. They have to. Nobody. Yeah, but this has happened twice before, and both times it was stacked up.
So it's-
And that's not going to change because
Okay.
people have to move. Now, you're moving the traffic from Mill Road to outside my front door. How's that okay?
So most
And
of the evidence-
it's not going to go away.
There is areas elsewhere, and I'm sure you won't believe any of the evidence, but over time, that traffic, the word they
Now,
use
you
is
see,
evaporation.
I hear where you're coming from, and I've read the report, and the report clearly states that the traffic, disperses. And I think that the major report that they did was based on one in London. And
It's not one.
the overarching, the one that's most often quoted,
We've
the
got
scientist.
four Tams in there.
Sorry, can I just finish this one point? The scientist that was responsible for that report was caught in a shop tearing down anti-LTN posters. So if you start with an idea in your mind, you can prove anything with data and
That's
science.
what you guys are doing. You start with an idea.
Good, Tamsin. Let's Tamsin.
I think I'm going to cheer everybody up because everybody thinks the bridge is closed anyway. And that is why it is so quiet on Mill Road at the moment. And if you say to people, do you think the bridge is closed? They go, yes, because they think it's still how it was before. And nobody has informed them that it's different. And it's very bad business.
One thing that I haven't heard anybody suggest as an alternative, and it may just be that I haven't heard it, but it seems obvious to me that one approach that would help a lot with increasing safety is to put hard enforcement on speed limits on the bridge. Speed limits for everybody. No, for everybody. And cars. I was in a taxi once that was going 35 miles an hour over the bridge. And I can understand, I cycle sometimes and I take the car to bridge and it's not a mile and a half longer.
I take it every day.
If I had a signal,
And,
Okay.
Just go on Google Maps, measure from Old Street, go down to the bridge, go over the bridge.
it's a mile and a half long, but not a mile and a half longer than going across Mill Road
So
Bridge.
can I ask you? I don't want to.
But anyway, so it seems to me that if we made sure that
Sir,
If you're on a bike, you go the shortest route.
all right, guys. Hang on.
if I could drive across Cardiff,
Night, Neil.
I'd use it. But I can't, it's a cyclist.
Neil,
Okay, then, let's go one at a time, please,
Well,
or we'll talk over each
let's
other.
withdraw it back down because it's been nearly an hour we've been talking. Well, more than an hour. Have we achieved
So
anything?
my point was that would,
Yeah.
if we're talking about the danger from cars, then restricting cars to a hard 20-mile-an-hour speed limit would help that a lot.
Sure.
And
I
that
thought there
would,
was is there not a
there
speed
is, but it's not enforced.
Right. Well, that's
So that would help. That would go some way anyway. It wouldn't solve the problem entirely, but it would certainly help in decreasing the danger from cars on the Mill Road Bridge without banning them altogether.
What's your name? Do you mind just so I know? Steve. Based on this, and you know the opposing sort of factions, as it were, would you accept that there does need to be some compromise, or are you sort of arguing from the point of view that we won the consultation, so you've got to do it, and that's it? Or are you prepared to think that actually maybe for the benefit of all Romsey, it could be scrapped and start again in a more kind of conducive manner?
I've lived here for 35 years, brought my kids up here. They were sorry.
So you've got to lose what's up here, 67 years old.
Yeah.
Carry on, yeah.
And when the kids were young, wheeling them in a pushchair up Mill Road was horrible because of the exhaust fumes. I used to really hate it. I used to hope that within my lifetime that would change.
Well, fuel has got a lot more environmentally friendly. It's not four-stroke anymore like it was then. You know, it's
Lots more EVs around.
lots more electric vehicles. All the buses, look at all the wonderful buses.
What if you went back to
All
being
our
traffic light
electric
control?
buses.
Yeah, the buses that now run every 20 minutes instead of every 10 minutes.
And the ones that tear up all the road because they're so much
I
heavier.
feel like we're running out of patience at the
But this is
moment.
a really, can I just ask this one really basic question? Because we obviously have opinions. My thing in my silly head is that if the bridge closes, each side of that bridge remains just as dangerous as it was. And we all see cars speeding over that bridge and down Mill Road. But the only thing that changes by closing the bridge to motor vehicles, aside from buses, is that that stretch over the bridge is, I guess I agree, a bit safer. The other side of Ebbsfield and Romsey, what I experienced over the two closures, pandemic and post then, was that actually people were more frustrated driving on each side of that bridge, tearing down Tennyson Road, tearing down Coleridge Road, where I live, and actually using those side streets as what Mill Road people say are rat runs, and they really were using it like that, and they still will. So what actually changes? What changes if they shut the whole road? Yes.
Don't give them
I get it.
ideas.
They can't, because no one would be able to get to their houses.
Trinity Street, where will it stop?
It's not the same. It's not the same.
That's not, that's a tiny road.
It did have
It's
a
a city centre.
When Jordan carts were there, no residents there.
Maybe
But I
tourists.
do agree with you that I remember when the bridge was closed before. I mean, particularly down the Coleridge, down to the brook.
All roads are
The speed of some of the vehicles was just ridiculous. So why not bring in some kind of